Hello, welcome back. For years, David Phelps stood as one of gospel music's brightest lights. His voice wasn't just technically brilliant. It was soulful, powerful, and full of emotion. Whether he was performing on grand stages or in intimate church settings, his music resonated deeply with those who heard it. David wasn't simply a singer. He was a presence. Every note carried passion. Every lyric told a story, and his performances often felt more like personal conversations than concerts. People didn't just hear him, they felt him. When he joined the Gaither vocal band, it was as if everything aligned. His voice added something extraordinary to the group, bringing life and depth to every song. Audiences were moved by his range, his conviction, and the sincerity behind his music. But David's influence went beyond the stage. His solo albums, like Life is a Church and Freedom, showed that he wasn't just a performer. He was an artist who could blend tradition with new ideas and bring the gospel message to life in ways that felt fresh and relevant outside of the music. He lived with intention and humility. He spoke often about his love for his wife and children, his faith, and the peace he found in a quiet life away from fame. While many artists get caught up in chasing success, David remained grounded, keeping his priorities clear. But behind the powerful voice and the standing ovations, something began to shift. David was starting to feel the toll of years on the road. At first, it seemed like normal exhaustion, needing more rest, missing a few rehearsals. But the changes grew. He began showing signs of deeper fatigue, moments of discomfort during performances, and difficulty maintaining the energy he once had. Most concerning of all, his voice, the very tool that defined his life, started to weaken. At rehearsals, he would pause, clear his throat, and sometimes shake his head in frustration. Something was clearly wrong, but he tried to push through. Eventually, it became impossible to hide. Shows were quietly cancelled. Statements were vague. Fans and friends began to notice the silence on his social media. Whispers of health problems and possible retirement spread. Still, David offered gentle reassurances. "I'm just resting," he'd say. But the truth was more serious. At a private gathering, David finally shared what had been going on. He opened up about a health condition that was affecting his energy, his ability to perform, and even his voice. While he didn't go into detail, the message was clear. He was facing a life-altering challenge. In that room, people saw not just the artist they admired, but the man behind the music, vulnerable, honest, and uncertain about the future. He acknowledged the painful possibility that he might not be able to sing as he once had. The news spread quickly. Fans responded with an outpouring of love and support. Social media was flooded with prayers, stories, and tributes. The music industry took notice, not just because of the talent being paused, but because of the humanity behind the headlines. And David disappeared from the public eye. The stage went dark. The spotlight faded. In the quiet, he focused on what mattered most: his family, his faith, his healing. He spent time at home, reflecting on the journey he'd been on and wondering where it might lead next. Was this the end of his career? Could his voice return? Would he find new ways to serve through music? Maybe as a writer or mentor instead of a performer. But his faith remained unshaken. In a heartfelt letter to his fans, he acknowledged the difficulty of the moment, but also the strength he found in trusting God's plan. He reminded everyone that while his voice might rest, the message of hope and love he carried would continue. Time passed. Months of silence followed. No concerts, no public appearances, only questions. Then suddenly a message appeared online. simple, quiet, but powerful. I have something to share with you all. Join me this Sunday. The announcement stirred excitement, nerves, and a bit of fear. Was this goodbye or a new beginning? When Sunday arrived, fans from around the world tuned in. On the screen appeared David, different, quieter, yet stronger in a new way. He looked like someone who had walked through something difficult and come out with a deeper sense of peace. He shared his journey honestly, speaking of pain, doubt, and healing. Then, he said the words everyone had hoped to hear. I'm not done yet. The relief was overwhelming. He explained that his path forward might be slower, that his performances would be fewer, but that his voice and his purpose remained. And then he sang. That first note was soft, unsure, but soon it rose, filled with strength and spirit. It wasn't just about hitting the right notes. It was about everything that had led to that moment. Years of music, struggle, faith, and love were woven into that performance. It was more than a comeback. It was a declaration of resilience and trust. David Phelps reminded the world that his music had never been about fame. It was always about connection, about lifting people up, about sharing something eternal. Whether or not he ever returns to the stage full-time, one truth is clear. His voice, both literally and spiritually, has left a mark that won't fade.